In what is being described as a colossal failure of governance, oversight, and political will, a highly anticipated R550 million highway project meant to connect key trade and rural hubs has collapsed into chaos, allegedly sabotaged and exploited by a shadowy group known as the Construction Mafia, with deep ties to powerful figures within the African National Congress, ANC. The highway, once hailed as a lifeline for struggling communities and a potential game-changer for local economies, now lies half-dug and deserted. Machinery sits idle, workers have vanished, and entire villages remain disconnected. Promises have turned to dust, and citizens are left asking one haunting question: where did the money go? The R550 million highway project was launched with fanfare in late 2022. It aimed to connect multiple rural townships in Limpopo and Mpumalanga to national highways, reducing travel times, boosting trade, and bringing critical services like healthcare and education closer to residents. Jobs, development, and dignity were the words used by an ANC minister at the launch event. But less than 24 months later, the project has ground to a halt, derailed by alleged corruption, threats, violence, and mafia-style extortion that has plagued South Africa's construction sector for years. Sources from within the Department of Public Works have revealed that a network of politically connected individuals, self-described as business forums, forced their way into the project, demanding a 30% stake in every subcontract. This practice, which has now become common in many provinces, is often enforced through violence, threats, and in some cases, outright sabotage. Contractors who refused to comply were chased off-site. In one shocking incident, 2 bulldozers were set ablaze and a site manager was hospitalized after being assaulted in broad daylight. We reported it to local police, one contractor stated anonymously, but nothing was done. Everyone is scared of these guys, they drop names of top ANC members and make calls no one wants to trace. What sets this case apart is not just the scale of the collapse, but the increasing evidence that members of the ANC, both local and provincial, were not only aware of the mafia's activities but may have enabled or protected them. Multiple whistleblowers claim that high-ranking officials from the Department of Transport turned a blind eye to the extortion. They came to inspect the site after the delay started, but never asked the hard questions. Some of them even arrived in the same cars as the mafia guys, a site engineer revealed. A leaked document shows that over R310 million has already been paid out, but there is little to show for it. A mere 15% of the highway has been completed, and several local companies, many of them black-owned SMMEs, have been bankrupted in the process. The greatest tragedy, however, lies with the people. Rural farmers now face longer travel times and rising transport costs. Children walk dangerous paths to school, and ambulances often take twice as long to arrive. Everything they promised was a lie, says Mama Thandi, a community elder from one of the affected villages. We were told we would have work. We were told the road would bring progress. Now there's nothing, just dust and broken promises. The Democratic Alliance, DA, and the Economic Freedom Fighters, EFF, have both condemned the scandal, calling for an immediate forensic audit and the suspension of implicated ANC officials. EFF spokesperson Sinawo Tambo called the incident state-sanctioned theft disguised as empowerment, while DA MP Sivu Gwarup said the ANC had allowed criminal networks to hijack the future of millions. This is not empowerment, this is extortion with the government stamp of approval. Civil society groups, including OUTA and Corruption Watch, have vowed to push for accountability, with calls for the Special Investigating Unit, SIU, to intervene. The Department of Transport claims that a new tender will be issued soon, but many fear that without cleaning up the rot, any new project will meet the same fate. This is what happens when political loyalty trumps competency, says construction analyst Thabo Mthembu. Unless the government decisively breaks the back of this mafia, even if it means jailing their own, this won't be the last highway project to die in the dirt. For now, the R550 million question remains: will anyone be held accountable? Or will the ANC once again spin the wheel of empty inquiries while South Africa bleeds billions in broad daylight?